Let's take some time and look at the main dashboard here in Google Analytics. By default, this is set to the last month on daily view, meaning this is the number of sessions per day that this website encountered. You can toggle the view with this suite of buttons, so you can look at the hourly number of sessions, daily number of sessions, weekly number of sessions, and monthly number of sessions. And because this is the data for 1 month, that is one line between two data points. Let's next move up to this date range option in the upper right-hand corner. By default, this is set for a month, so I'll use the pull down and I'll see highlighted the month that it is now working with. We have some predefined date ranges up here in this pull down, so we can look at, say, yesterday's web traffic, click apply, and then click hourly, and we can see the hourly traffic for 1 day. Let's go back to our date range pull down. We'll use another predefined data range. This time we'll choose last month. And this time let's compare it to the previous period. So we'll click the compare to checkbox and we'll be comparing August to July. We click apply. And this is not a very useful view of our data. So we'll click weekly. And here is a sense of how our website performed last month as opposed to this month in a color-coded line chart. This graph view is somewhat useful, but much more useful are the metrics just below it, which have shifted from raw numbers to percentage of change. So we can look, comparing the last 2 months, that the number of sessions went down slightly and the number of users went down slightly. However, page views are up, pages viewed per session are up, our average session duration is significantly up, and our bounce rate is down. So this news tells us that while we had fewer users and fewer sessions, they were looking at more pages and they were staying there longer. Let's go back to our pull down, and this time, instead of comparing it to last month, let's compare it to August of last year. We use this pull down, choose previous year, and click apply. Here is our graph, graphed weekly. Here is the number of sessions, page views, and the other metrics, and we can see that overall August performed a little better last year than it did this year, as all our metrics are slightly down, other than our session duration, which is slightly up. We'll go back to our date range option. We'll turn off the compare option, and let's now change our date range. There's no previous year as a predefined date range, so we need to do this ourselves. So I'll simply change 2015 to 2014 and click apply. So this is the weekly graph of our web traffic over the last year. And if we go to monthly, we can see a little better how our traffic has moved in the previous year. And finally, we can look at the previous year and compare it to this year by using the compare option to previous period and clicking apply. We see our data charted up here and our percentage of change down here in our metrics. I'll again go to the pull down, take off compare view. We'll keep the previous year as our data range and click apply. And now let's look at the bottom half of our page. Let's look at language first, and we can see that the vast majority of our sessions, 92% and change, is in American English. We don't know the language of 1.35% of our end users. 1.16% is in British English, and the others are all less than 1%. Let's move from language in our demographic section to country. This tells us a similar story, that the United States contains the vast majority of our traffic, and these other countries taking up less than 2% of our traffic. City is a little more spread out. Most of our traffic's in Fort Collins at 20%, Denver at just under 12%, and the other ones taking up just under 3%. Browser, and this is important for web design, lets us know that the big four browsers that are looking at our web page are Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Safari. So this tells us that when we're designing the website, we want to make sure and test the website in all four of these browsers. An operating system, we can see that Windows is the big winner here at 68%, but that just under 14% of our users are using Macintosh and just under 10% are using iOS. So again, this tells us that we want to look at our website in all three of these operating systems to make sure that they work well in all of them. We'll skip service provider. This is the operating system of all of our traffic, but if we go to mobile traffic and the operating system, we can see that iOS is the winner here at 56%, 31% and change is Android, and 8.8% is Windows. So you want to make sure if the mobile version of your website is working well in all three of these operating systems. Finally, we'll look at screen resolution. And here we're going to be looking mostly at the pixel width. The highest width here appears to be 1280 here at number 7, and our lowest width appears to be 480 pixels. So when you're designing this website, you want to have a website that can look at a 480 pixel wide resolution as well as a 1280 pixel wide resolution.